Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome to another video, and tonight I'm showing you my newest folio design. Now, before we get started, I want to give credit where credit is due. I was looking for graduation ideas and I ran across a card design that struck me. It was so cute and I was like, I think I can turn that into a folio, and that's just what I did. Now, I'm going to link the card design video for you in the description because if you need to make a card, it's a great video for that. But if you would like to make this little keepsake folio, stick around, I'll show you how to do it. First, let's do a little walkthrough so you can see what we're going to learn tonight. So the top is magnet closed. So you lift the top and you turn it back and look at the inside. How cute is this? Now this one's plain. I'll show you one that I decorated at the end of the video, but look at this. This pulls out and you can put photos and memories on both sides, and it's so easy to do. So let's get started. So to get started, you're going to need a piece of 12 by 12. Now on the album, you will have noticed that I'm using the school color as the album. So instead of making it white and then gluing a bunch of pieces on top of that, I'm going to actually let this be the body of the album and the main color. So if you want to make black or blue or whatever for the school color, consider that here. All right, so let's take out our scoreboard. Now we're going to be scoring it like this. Okay, so I did this on this page so you could see it. So we're going to do 2 3/4, 3 1/4. We're going to skip this for a second and come back. We'll do 8 3/4 and then 9 1/4. And what we're going to do here is just a mark. We're not going to score all the way down. We're just going to make ourselves a mark at the top of the page. And then we're going to turn this one time into our scoreboard. And we're going to do 8 and 8 1/2. Okay. And then when it's time to cut away, I'll come back to this to show you what we're going to cut away. So let's do our score marks. So first, we'll do 2 3/4, 3 1/4. Then we're going to jump over here and we're going to do 8 3/4, and then 9 1/4. Now while I'm here, I'm going to grab something to make a mark at 6. And I'm not too worried about it. All of this is going to get covered up and cut away, but don't make a super big mark. Just make yourself a mark there to know where to reference next. Now let's turn it and let's score at 8 and 8 1/2. All right, so that's the score marks we need to make, but now we need to cut some away. So for the cutaway, I want to show you like this. All of this red, we're going to cut away, and when we do, it's going to cut that whole section off as well, okay? So when you go to cut, I want you to cut on this side of the score mark and cut that score mark away all the way to here, and then I want you to cut on this side of the score mark all the way down. Okay, and you're going to do that on both sides. Basically, what we want to make sure that we do is we cut this little square away because we don't need it. So I'm going to use my big scissors for this. I'm going to go right here, and on the bottom side of that score mark, I'm going to cut all the way to the cross there in the middle where that little square is. And on the top, I'll do the same thing. And I'm on the outside of the score mark because I'm cutting it away. I don't need to keep it. And let me show you what we've done there. So you see that? And if I bring this up super close, you'll see that little square right there. That's what we want to make sure we get. We're going to do that on both sides. So do that over here just the same. Because of the way I'm building this little mortar board album, graduation album, you want to use a thicker cardstock, okay? Because it's going to be, the whole album is going to be pretty much this cardstock. So use some of the thickest that you've got for this. All right, now I need to caution you about something else. We're fixing to make an angled cut up here, but this is really important. Where we have that center mark, do you see this line that runs here? I want you to see that it's at the top of this gusset, okay? Because this is going to fold over the top. We want to make sure we do our angle to this point, not this point. Does that make sense? Remember, we cut, let's do this. We've cut all that away. So we want to make sure we do our angle to the top score mark and not the second. So let's grab our trimmer. And I'm going to place this in. And what I want to do is I want to place my little dot that I made my mark on for my centerpiece. And I want to place the top score mark right here in my cut line. And then I'll take my blade and I'll sink it and do that. And this is what we're trying to do. So let me show you when I bring it up here where you can see the score marks. You can see that we have kind of a little stair step there. I'm really pointing that out because I struggled remembering it when I was doing this myself. And I thought, if I don't point that out or at least stress it, it could be a problem. All right, so we kind of have a little house shape. So see our little stair step there? Now we can do some folding and creasing. So I'm going to fold all my score lines, and my cardstock is super thick and it did not want to fold where I told it to. So let's try that again. There we go. Let's bring that down. I'm going to crease that nice and snug. There we go. And then the other. And these are going to be our spine, basically, or gussets for more pages to go into. So you can see once we get those folded, they look like that. Okay. Now the same on this side. Now at the top, you have another one just like it. So we're going to fold both of those lines. So when we close this, it looks like this and like this, which seems a little weird right now, but when we get the rest of the pieces put on, it'll be super cute. Now, I want to show you, the reason I want you to use a nice sturdy cardstock is the bottom of this is not going to have a lot of closure support. It's supposed to represent the gown, so I'm okay with it being open. That's what I'm trying to represent here, and you'll see that in a few minutes. What we need to do right now is we need to install magnets, and it's really important when you put your magnets in that you take the time to square up your sides at the top, get everything square, and then press your magnet. So let me grab mine and I'll show you how we'll install them. All right, I want them to live under this flap, and I want to give myself some room to put them down, but I also want to be able to glue paper around them, okay? So I'm just going to press kind of all this stuff together, kind of square, just like this, and I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to make a pencil mark here and here, just to give me a reference. Now, you might not can see it, but one is there and one is there. And this lets me know I need to be up in this area. Okay, so let's peel the backer off of one of these guys. And I'm going to lift this where I can see my pencil mark and put my magnet about right there. And I am going to put one on both sides. I had considered just putting one toward the middle here, but it crosses over weirdly in the center, and I really want to be able to hide them. Now, over here, I'm just going to try to mimic the one on the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. They won't show. I'm just going to kind of line this up, put this guy down, about like that. All right, let's release the adhesive back here. Let's peel off this paper. All right, so I've got the magnet sticky showing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a paper pad, and this is a little bit tighter than 6 inches, so you got to use something smaller than 6 by 6. I'm going to place this in, and that'll give me something to press my pages down to, okay? And then I can press my top in and get everything lined up like it needs to go. And that will just lift those magnets up so you're not doing it in the air. We can slide that guy out. Perfect. And that is the first build of our graduation folio. All right, so let's do the next part. Let's come inside and do in here. This is really easy to do. So for the photo spot inside of my album, I don't want anything super fancy. This is going to be very easy. This is 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I'm going to cut down to 7 3/4 by 11. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of this because I'm going to make myself 4 pretty good sized photo spots. Going back to the scoreboard now, we're going to do some scoring here. So on these pieces on the 11-inch side, we're going to score them at 5 1/4 and 10 1/2. All right, so we can fold these and crease them. We're basically going to build like a little accordion fold album on the inside just to hold some photos. This is going to be basically a snapshot of graduation day or something like that. Maybe, I was just talking to Brenda about this, that there's so many activities that seniors do nowadays leading up to graduation. You probably will have a lot of just kind of one-off pictures, and this will be a cute, cute place to keep those. All right. Also a good way to give a gift if you want to use this as something else besides just for photos. All right, so I want to make these where they will accordion with each other. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So that little flappy piece is what we're going to attach everything together with. And I want to actually kind of sink my page into it. Do you see how I laid that one out and laid this one over? And I'm going to glue it that way. And because our pages are not, they don't have any pattern or orientation, I can rebend them any way I want them. But if you're using paper that has an orientation, you need to pay attention to how you're putting these together. I can just stick this here, and I just want it to live just on that left-hand side of the score mark so I can still get a fold, and you can lift this up and kind of push everything together. I like to do this because I like to have these pieces kind of meld together. I don't like to glue one just sitting on top of the other. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to make this work. So I'm going to fold this one in, fold that one back, and then fold this one over. Now, if you wanted to, this is a cute place to do some corner rounding, some punching in the corners if you wanted to, which we can do. I'll show you that. Let's just use our 1/2 inch punch. I don't think it'll go through all these. I'll try. It did no problem. So I'm going to do my 1/2 inch on all the ends. And on this end, I'll just fold that little flap down and I'll corner round it as well. It won't matter. Now, if that's too thick for you to feel like you can do all at one time, you can just open the pages up and do them individually. I think that looks really nice. Now, let's go back to our little album. So inside here, what I'm going to do is add glue to this flap and glue this guy in just kind of centered between our score lines like this. And this will be where we can add any photos, any decoration, anything we want to right inside here. This piece I have here is just shy of 5 1/4 this way, and it's 7 3/4 the tall way. And I'm going to round all the corners on it the same as I did that little piece we just glued in, because I'm going to use this to kind of clean up the bottom and give us another place for photos. So now I'm just going to take this guy and glue it right on top of here to kind of seal everything up, clean it up, and make everything cohesive on the bottom as well. Isn't that cute? I love how this is coming together. When you do this, make sure your page will flip over and lay down completely so you don't get any resistance there. All right, let's work on our mortar board or our graduation cap. All right, so what I'm going to do is close this down. Now, to make this happen, it is so easy. Watch this. This piece here is 5 by 5, and that's what we're going to use for our cap. And I'm going to glue it down so that it lines up at this point, and it changes the whole look of the album. Do you see that? It's so cute. And all we have to do is apply glue here. You can use sticky tape here if you'd rather, or a full sheet of adhesive, either one. And then we'll put this guy down, matching up that point there, because I want to hide that one. And then I'm going to stand this up and look at it and check to get it straight and even on both sides. You can always look from the back side as well. And it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty close. Now you're going to see when you open this up, that back of the cap goes to the back of the book. So you want to be careful when you're opening not to squish it. And that'll get better as we keep decorating. All right, so there's this side. Now let's go inside here and let's cover all of this working. To do that, you're going to need a piece that's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to put this in to my trimmer and I'm going to cut it on an angle. So I'll sink my blade. And this will be what will hide our magnets. It'll be the right size and shape for that area. So I'm going to turn this where I can see it. Now I want to show you this before we glue it down. I'll hold it up close. You're going to be gluing it to this side of your score. You don't want to cover up that section there because you want it to fold down. So I'm just going to place this to my score mark and bring it in. So it's kind of even all the way around on either side. And you can always lift this up and just kind of push it in. And that just cleans that up and hides your magnets. Isn't that cute? Great place to put a sentiment or journaling. That's a great spot for journaling. Now let's talk about this area. I want this to be super cute too. Let me show you something. Okay, I think this is one of the things that really makes this look like a cool album, okay? This piece is 2 3/4 by 3 inches. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this on our cut line, a lot of angle cuts today, and we're gonna do an angle cut across both sides. Now, I'm using solid color paper. If you were using something with orientation or with a pattern on it, you need to pay attention because this is what we're looking for, okay? So you may have to cut 2 pieces to get the pattern to go in the right direction. This is all we're gonna do today. You also could do a solid color and then emboss if you wanted to, but look how cute this is. Okay, so this is directly from the inspiration. I told you earlier that I had a card that inspired me on Pinterest. This was the cutest part to me. So you take these pieces, and we're going to hide our other magnet, and this is so easy. This is going to be such a good gift because you can do this quick and easy. We're going to glue that to hide that magnet on this side. So cute. And then we're going to do it on the other side as well. All right, I've got those glued down, and don't forget to erase your pencil marks. I did not do that earlier, so I wanted to get those off of there. And now I'm going to show you another thing that I think really dresses this up. So this is some chunky glitter cardstock that I've got here. And what I'm going to do is on the front, I'm going to glue this right along that edge that we just put in and give it a little bit of sparkle. Now, this is a great place to play with the school colors. So if the person you're giving this to, maybe their colors are red, white, and blue, you could do blue here, and that would be really cute too. I just like the sparkle today. I don't know what's up with me, but I'm liking sparkle. So I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm gonna take my scissors and just trim the ends. Look how gorgeous that turns out. Can you see the sparkle? There it is. Be really pretty with gold or silver, either one. I just like the play on the colors, and look how it closes up. Isn't that awesome? All right, what I'm gonna add now is I wanna add a tassel here. So I'm gonna use some of this hemp cord in the white shade because I think this will be really pretty on that red album, and we're going to make a tassel out of it. And here's how I do it. It's kind of a cheater tassel. It's not a real one. We're just going to do this. I'm taking 9 pieces of the cord. If you're using something thicker, like if you're using chunky baker's twine, you won't need 9 pieces. Just kind of cut a few pieces, fold them up and look at them, cut a few pieces, look at them until you get what you're looking for tassel wise. This may even be thicker than you think it should be, and that's fine too. But I'm going to wrap these, or just lay these all side by side. And the reason I'm pulling them is because they're a little bit wrinkly from the packaging. But that sort of helps to release. You can see how it releases that wrinkle a little bit. All right, so that's 9 pieces. And then I have this extra piece. Lay those right there. This extra piece, I'm going to pull it out as well. And I'm going to lay it down like this and take my 9 and lay them across. Now, don't worry too awful much about everything being perfectly lined up. We'll trim that off in a minute. By the way, these pieces are 6 inches long. I don't think I said that. I did cut them 6 inches. Now I'm just going to tie this piece here in the middle. Kind of pay attention before I tie the knot portion of it. There's that, and then I'll tie the knot. Now, the reason this is a cheater one is because I do have videos showing you how to like make this all one tassel right here using the string, but I'm just going to do this and cut this off and then do another string to make this quick and easy and not have to think about it. So there's what we got, strings tied in a knot. So now that we've got this piece here, I want you to take it and fold it in the middle so that it kind of looks like a mop head. Do you see that? We've got our little knot at the top. Then I'm going to take a second string, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip knot this string through, just to make this easy and not have to tie another knot. So it will go in the middle and up. Then I'll send the tails through that loop that we sent through there. And just slip knot that on. That will be perfectly fine for what we're doing. So we want that one to attach it to the album, but now we need to finish making this look like a tassel. Now I'm going to do that with just a little more twine. And I'm going to hold this down. And I'll hold my twine out enough to be able to tie at the end after I get through wrapping. So we'll move my string down a bit, and I'm going to wrap this up the middle. I'm not going to do it super, super tight. I'm just going to wrap it until I have about what looks like a tassel. Remember, this is just interpretation. People will get the point of what it is. Then I'll turn this over and tie a knot on the back. And I'm going to let that knot live in the back because the way I'm going to secure this down, you won't see it. So lots of knots today. If this is long enough, you can leave it. Mine's a little too short, so I'm going to cut it. Alrighty then. Now, let's give it a haircut. Let's pull everything down. Let's get everything close together right here to the bottom, and let's just cut that off. And look how cute our little tassel is. And it'll get better over time because our pieces will loosen up and they might even fray, which might be cute too. All right, let's go to our piece again. Now for this piece, I cut a second red piece to go on top. Now you can play with color here as well, but I want to do red here. And this piece is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. You see it's a little bit smaller than our top piece there. And I need to find the middle of this one. So I'm going to use a ruler and my pencil. And I'm just going to make a mark here. And I'm going to turn it and find the middle on this side. And then I'm going to poke a hole there. And this is not too big of a deal. None of this is going to show, this whole area. You just want to get through there. And then what I did, I kind of went from the back side where my X was, and I just pushed all of that lifted up cardstock back through because I'm going to put my strings through the front side here. Again, none of this is going to show. I'm going to hide it with a button. All right, and then I'm going to take these 2 strings and send them through the hole we just made. And we will adhere this down, but don't do it yet. Trust me from learning from mistakes. Don't stick that down just yet. But what I do want to do is decide how long I want my tassel, about like that. So when I come onto the back side, this can just get stuck down. And here's how I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to use some foam squares. I'm going to place one foam square here just to hold that in place, and then one on each corner. Because this is so big, I think I'll put some out here as well just to support these pieces and keep it lifted on our album. Peel all this off so we can put it on. If you want to, you can cut that string away. It's not really going to matter, but I'll cut it just so it's not in our way. All right, and now this guy is going to mount on top of your other piece, like so. You want to drive your corners into place and the top. And you can leave this loose and kind of moving around, but I don't want to. I want to glue it right here to this side. So I'm going to come right here. I want to make sure my knot is on the back, and here it is. I'm going to put glue back here. And then I will place this down so that it will glue down and my little tassel will hang down. So I can either hold that or I can just use my reverse tweezers to hold it in place. All right, so the last thing we're going to do, we closed everything up, and right here where we stuck that ribbon through, or the tassel through, I'm going to put a piece of foam, and I have, you knew it, a button, because I am all about buttons lately. I have this white button I think is really cute, and we're going to sit that one right here, and that'll kind of give us a center point there for our tassel. Isn't that adorable? All right, guys, so that's the album. Let's do a quick flip through. Now, remember, when you open the lid, you want to give yourself room for that guy to turn to the back, and look how pretty. You can do so much. I'll show you one that we've got some cutesies in, but look at all that space you've got for photos, and it's really just enough. And whatever you want to put on the sides, if you're giving this as a gift, it would be really cool if you did journaling on either side, maybe telling about the person you're giving the present to, or I remember when, or something like that. That would be really cute. But let me show you this other one. Now, I have to be honest, this was kind of my tester, so it's not perfect, but it's okay. So we added some stars to the front of this one. It's blue and red and silver, but look at this. When you open this up, how cute. And we used our stamp set called Congratulations. We'll make sure to link all that in the products for you and everything. But look how this looks. You open it like this, and look, this is using, I'm telling y'all, that die set, it's the We Are dies. These are so useful. So on either side, we've got glitter, and then we've got Grad 2020-24. And this one, notice I didn't round the corners on these. It's because it was my tester. But look at all of this. And I also didn't put that extra piece in here. I will go back and do that because I think it'll look good. But look at all of this space. And what graduate would not love to get this? You might have to give it to them after graduation so you have all the pictures that you want to put in it. But who wouldn't love to receive this? I think this would be a really cool piece, and it'll even stand up, which is kind of neat. They could stand it on their desk or stand it in a bookshelf, and I just love it. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. And when you make it, we want to see it. Post it on our customer gallery at MaymayMadeIt.com, or share it with us in our Facebook group called Maymay Made It, and so did I. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this project, and until next time, bye now.